Hey, let me do my durk check-in for my weekend wrap-up. I had a busy day today of editing on videos, my little stranger review, and my the inconvenient Indian review, and the booktube backstage tag, or the backstage booktube tag, which I've edited together and chopped down and chopped out the irrelevant bits, and those will go up on the main channel. And I may put them here too, just because I like to have everything here as kind of a reference point. So I've got the raw copy and the finished copy here. But yeah, I was able to get a good bit of that done. I did actually do some of my comments because I love doing comments. I did a couple of my comments. I still need to get them finished before this next batch of videos goes out and I have more comments. And hey, I think I even left a couple of comments on videos, including a comment on Sean's review of The Inconvenient Indian by Thomas King, where he does such a really good job of reviewing that book. And I shouldn't feel too bad, because what I did was, okay, here's my failed non-review, and then I went, oh, okay, actually that's okay. I'll edit that a little bit and actually release it. But it's a pretty sorry affair, especially when I compare it to something like Sean, who actually obviously put in the time, gathered the examples, and talked about kind of the shape of the book in a lot more fulsome and detailed way, and really gave you an idea of what kind of humor Thomas King was using in it. And it sounds like he was about as impressed with it as I was. And I kind of talked myself over to being impressed by it as I worked through the review. Mine was really working it out on camera, whereas obviously he had done all his working out beforehand, which makes why his video is so much better. And I'll probably put a little flag at the beginning of my video using the YouTube stuff of just like, hey, want a real review? Click on this and just go watch Sean's video and abandon me immediately. I think I'll put that on there just for honesty's sake, and just so that Sean's name comes up much earlier in the review. And if people are going to click away, well, they should click away to Sean. Yeah, so I did that. I went to the osteopath and got a good working out that way. It's very intense. I have scoliosis in my back, and he is the fellow who I'm working with is doing a really good job of locating where I've got that bend, and working at strengthening muscles and working on the deep tissue, which is a really interesting kind of pain that happens as he's working on it. But it feels like it's probably a good pain. It's also just interesting lying on a table and just having your body worked on. It's a very not unpleasurable experience, even if it is painful at the same time. So that has been good for me as well. And I'll try, probably I'm going to do it every 4 or 5 weeks, because I can't afford much more than that. But I'm somebody who works with my body every day, as a support worker. So I need to keep my body going. So it's definitely worth the expenditure of money. Yeah. I didn't do as much in the way of a tidy today, but I'm very happy with what I got done. Oh, and I finished Journey to Mars, that massive reading project that I have been doing. And I will probably do a review of the book, because I think I have a lot to say about the book, and it's really interesting as this another in this kind of this tradition of Martian books. I started off with Edgar Rice Burroughs, And I'm sort of really enjoying just sort of, you know, all these books, you know, around the turn of the century, the turn of the, you know, this is 1894, to Edgar Rice Burroughs being like the first of the Barsoom novels being like 1912, 1917, I think, like published in magazine, 1912, published as a book in 1917, of just like this whole kind of body of work around here, of which the Barsoom novels are probably the most well known. But it's like, oh, it's really interesting to just see like a whole bunch of people all kind of doing science fiction fantasy books around Mars at this period of time. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that. Though, for fuck's sakes, it's a 500-page novel with lots of exposition, which it sort of has its own charm that way. The racism, not so much, especially the later chapters. We really get some come back to earth to remind everyone that, yep, these are all really racist people. Everyone in the past, really racist, probably, you know, even if they're not, even if they're in a situation where there's no people of color or that around, yep, they're all probably really, really racist. You just don't see it until someone of color appears on the page, and then, oh, holy crap, it's there. Whether, you know, it's John, the New Zealand Maori at the beginning, or the Asian people at the one of the end chapters who are referred to as coolies and are just, it's a yellow horde trope through and through. But you know, but it's also, it's my history. It's my unfortunate, the nasty heritage that people don't want to think about, but should really be thought about. Yeah, so I'm gonna do a review of that, and wow, I will be one of the few people who's probably actually read the book. Though you never know who's going to come out in the woodwork and say, oh, I read that, and you're completely wrong, which would be fine. So it has been a good weekend, I think, all in all. And, oh, God, I will now go inside, continue reading The Franchise Affair by Josephine Kay, which is also an awesome book. All right, more videos later.